meeting. Oh, I'm getting feedback. I'm getting feedback. I can't even hear myself. Okay. I'll call this meeting of August 24th to order and ask if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none. First item of business is 3.1 COMS 2020-042 Sugog Stage 3 Recreation and Culture Reopening Plan. And I'll call on Ms. Cornish for your presentation.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of Council. Today's presentation is for the reopening plan for the Scugog Arena and recreation programming. Today I will discuss the current provincial orders, provide an overview of the resources used to develop the plan, provide a summary of the reopening plan for the Scugog Arena, Blackstock Arena, and other sports and recreational activities, meeting rooms and event space, and summarize how the playgrounds and outdoor fitness equipment were reopened. Based on updates provided by the province as of July 24th, the Region of Durham and the Township of Scugog entered into Stage 3 of the province's Reopening Ontario, a flexible response to COVID-19 Act. The rules for areas in Stage 3 provided in the Ontario regulation allows the recreational facilities to be open to the public. The provincial order also states that every person must maintain a physical distance of at least 2 meters from every other person, and the total number of members of the public permitted at the facility in a class, organized program, or organized activity cannot exceed 50 persons for indoor and 100 for outdoor. There was further clarification from the province regarding the occupancy capacity in a facility that states the 50-person limit is per area within the facility. Therefore, for example, at the Scugog Community Recreation Centre, the township can limit 50 person at one time in pad 1 and 50 people at the same time in pad 2. Staff spent several weeks working to develop the reopening plan using the framework for reopening our province Stage 3 provided by the province, the public health guidelines from the Region of Durham and Ontario Public Health Departments, guidelines from the Ontario Recreation Facility Association, reopening plans from various local facilities, and return to plan guidelines from the Ontario Hockey Federation and Skate Canada. Staff have been in contact with their municipal counterparts throughout the region while developing our reopening plan to provide as much consistency throughout the region as possible. The following slides will discuss the reopening of the Scugog Community Recreation Centre, Blackstock Arena, and other sports and recreation activities. To determine the current demand for ice, staff surveyed the historical ice users at the Scugog Arena to see how much ice time they would require to run their modified programs. Results from the survey found that there was a more than adequate demand for ice to be installed at the Scugog Arena, with requests totaling 87.25 hours. The prime ice hours for the 2021 season will be reduced from 130 hours to 92.25 hours to allow for 30 minutes of maintenance between users. This will include allowing the renters to enter and exit the building without any contact between groups and disinfectant time for the dressing rooms. Both ice pads are scheduled to open for rental on September 15th instead of the August 31st date, due to programming scheduling from North Durham Minor Hockey and Port Perry Skate Club. Several facility and user protocols will be instituted at the Scugog Arena, including a maximum of 50 people per pad, and to assist with the enforcement of the occupancy capacity, an additional student rink attendant is required. Further examples of the facility and user protocols include one parent or guardian allowed into the facility per player or skater. One entrance and exit will be designated for each pad. Doors will remain locked until 15 minutes before the rental. Players must arrive fully dressed with the exception of skates, gloves, and helmets. Every visitor must enter on the pad they are playing on. All visitors must wear a mask until entering the ice surface. Everyone must sign in for contact tracing. No outside food or drink will be permitted within the facility except water bottles, and no sharing of water bottles will be permitted. Dressing room, bathrooms, and showers will be closed. Dressing rooms will be disinfected by staff after each use. Lobby washrooms will remain open. High-touch areas of washrooms will be disinfected twice per day with a deep cleaning once per night. No body contact will be permitted on or off the ice. That includes shaking hands. And no warm-ups will be permitted within the building. In regards to the Blackstock Arena, decisions regarding the opening of Blackstock Arena will be made early in October, as ice typically opens at the end of October for rentals. Staff have been surveying all user groups of the Blackstock Arena to determine ice demand. The facility constraints of smaller dressing rooms, lobby area, ice surface, and player benches will make physical distancing challenging. To assist visitors maintain physical distancing and reduce the potential spread of COVID-19, some amenities will remain closed, including the concession booth, water fountains, mini stick area, and no facility furnishings will be available for use. Staff have been developing our fall recreational programming to begin September 21st. Our programs remain similar to past programs, offering with an increased time between programs for cleaning, and participant numbers will be limited for each program. User protocols will include that participants must come dressed for activity, and all participants must wear masks until the fitness recreation program begins. Participants will continue to register online for programs. Staff have met with the North Durham Pickleball Club to assist with the reopening of the pickleball program. In the past, pickleball was mostly a drop-in program with players waiting in the court area for their turn to play. The drop-in program will now be a pre-registered program with a limit of 4 players on each court at one time. Court time will be allocated in 1-hour blocks with 20 minutes in between sessions. Masks must be worn in the facility until play begins. No spectators will be allowed in the court area, and players must bring their own equipment. Our youth center, the Lookout, is scheduled to reopen on September 22nd. The occupancy will be limited to 10 people plus staff. If capacity is reached, participants may be asked to leave after a period of 2 hours. Participants will be responsible for using disinfectant wipes after the use of equipment, with the exception of electronics. Staff will be responsible for disinfecting electronics, and face masks must be worn at all times. During stage 3, it is planned to reopen meeting rooms, event space, and community halls for rental and for municipal programming. Meeting rooms and event space, including community halls, to reopen in September. Participant numbers will be limited for each event based on the type of activity and space available. Occupancy numbers is determined by ensuring physical distancing can be maintained and the number does not exceed 50 people indoors and 100 outdoors. All event organizers will be required to submit a plan of how they will ensure COVID-19 protocols are met. A checklist has been developed by staff to assist organizers with the development of their plan and will be shared with any potential renters. A standard operating procedure has been developed for disinfecting facilities and will be shared with hall boards for consistency. When the township entered stage 3 on July 24th, all playgrounds and outdoor fitness equipments were reopened with the exception of Palmer Park. Palmer Park Playground is scheduled to open after Labor Day. Once open, staff will monitor and determine whether physical distancing is occurring. Playground and outdoor fitness equipment is not sanitized and safety signs are in place at all locations. The reopening of facilities for sports and recreation, fitness activities, meetings, and event space, including community halls, playgrounds, and outdoor fitness equipment, align with the directives from public health and other levels of government, and staff will follow the recovery and reopening plan developed by staff. Thank you for listening to my presentation this afternoon.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Ms. Cornish, and congratulations on wading through all of that legislative material and managing to come up with an excellent report after having done so. Do I have any questions?
I have a question, Madam Mayor.
Okay, Councillor Brown, go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, Ms. Cornish. Thanks for your presentation. I just wanted to ask about dressing rooms and body contact. The dressing rooms will be open. They can put their skates on in the dressing rooms. Is that right?
Through the mayor to the councillor, yes, we are proposing that dressing rooms are open with limited capacity. So we have measured each dressing room. So the capacity is between 8 and 10 people at one time.
Okay, and can you just clarify for me, body contact means no shaking of hands, I get that, but I mean, hockey is, for one, is it inherently contact full. So I don't know whether there's more stipulations around body contact or you just no body checking. I don't know. I guess I'm asking you for clarification there.
Through the mayor to you, councillor, my understanding, we've read through the Ontario Hockey Federation framework for opening, and their definition is any body contact. And what we're proposing is that they have to sanction the association before they can rent ice from us to provide insurance. So what we're proposing is that the organization has to submit that as a plan, that there'd be no body contact, and enforcement of that would be through our staff looking to see if there's body contact and then reporting to myself, and then a discussion with the organizations.
Okay, and forgive me, one more. Protocols for COVID, if somebody is showing symptoms, how does that play out in an arena?
Through you, Mayor, to the councillor. So we have a plan in place for that would be similar to our camps when they are showing, when there's a camper that has showing signs of COVID. So we would institute that same type of plan. We have contact tracing, so the organization would have to inform us of what I don't want to say infected, a positive result of COVID. Right. And then we would start the contact tracing, which is, my understanding is more so through the public health department. So the public health department would call us and ask us for our contact tracing to assist with them. We are developing a standard operating procedure. We have one in place for disinfecting and cleaning of the facility at all times, but we do have one created, it's in draft form, for cleaning after a COVID case has been brought to our attention for the facility.
Okay, super. Thanks very much, Ms. Cornish.
Thank you, Councillor Brown. And I have Councillor Guido has a question. Please go ahead, Councillor Guido.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My question to Ms. Cornish is regarding the concession booth. Just a question, seeing as though she will not be able to open up, are we still charging a monthly lease for the months that she'll be closed?
Through you, Mayor, to the councillor, no, we have not been able to contact the leaser. We've just been playing phone tag. So there would not be, it's quite similar to what happened in March when we were not allowing them to be open. It's a township decision to not open the concession booth, so we would not be receiving any rental revenue.
Perfect, thank you. I was hoping that was the answer. Thank you very much, Ms. Cornish. No further questions.
Thank you, Councillor Guido. Councillor Watton.
Mayor, further to your standard operating procedures and plan, you're going to provide a plan of how the event will follow the protocols. Can you tell me how the hall boards and committees will be apprised of that? Will you be getting them together? Will you be sending them booklets?
Sure. Through you, Mayor, to the councillor. After today's meeting, an email would be sent letting them know of our standard operating procedure, any of our reopening plans. They have been, they received our reopening plan for community halls, but this facility one is definitely more detailed. They can have a time to review that, and I'd love to get together with all the hall board chairs to meet and discuss that. I think it'd be a great time for question and answer period for all of us.
Thank you, Councillor Watton, and I now have Councillor Ross.
And nobody knows what that's going to look like, especially 2 weeks post school coming back. What is the mindset for opening September 15th? Is it just it's always been open September 15th, or is there something else at play there?
Through you, Mayor, to the councillor. So the decision for timing was generally our ice is ready for August 31st. The North Durham, which is our main user group, initially asked for a September 4th opening, and they have, I'm just getting some feedback, sorry. They decided to move their dates back to the September 15th because of school opening too. So they wanted to give a chance for the children to be back at school, see how that goes, and then their programs would start the 15th. There's also, it takes a week to make ice, so we tried to avoid the Labor Day weekend because of increased in overtime costs for staff. Through you, Madam Mayor, to the councillor. I do joke that the minute we finish the reopening plan, I'll be starting on the closing plan. I'm not sure that's so much of a joke, but that's what I'd like to do is have some plans in place at certain times. So if it was early in the season, like your example is 2 weeks, we would have to determine the cost analysis on keeping the ice in and seeing, you know, if it looks like it would be a month before things got back, we would have to determine that, see if it was worth keeping the ice in or for that month, or if it was looking like the second wave came and it was large and it was going to be months shut down or back into stage one. That would be something that I think staff get together and review the cost analysis of keeping the ice in. So my understanding with North Durham, and I did say North Durham, but I will clarify that the Port Perry Skate Club also, which is our second user, wished to start September 15th too. So it helped that they aligned for our timing. But to your question, if they decided that they couldn't run their program, is that kind of it? To see what we would do? Yeah. Any discussion I've had with North Durham is they've put out registration numbers and they're getting a good feel of this September 15th and using the ice. If they decided that they had to back off it, we have several private renters looking in the wings because of that half-hour maintenance block in there. And I discussed that the prime hour is then reduced for availability. We have several private renters looking to run skill development camps or that's mostly it, skill development camps, but even their adult private renters are not having the ice time that they would love to have normally because of the half-hour maintenance. So I feel confident that we couldn't fill all 44 hours of North Durham, but if they reduced their hours, that we fill some hours with private renters.
Any further questions? Okay, seeing none, on page 3 of our agenda package, we've got the recommendations that the report be received, that the stage 3 facilities for sports and recreational fitness activities plan as outlined in this report be approved, that the stage 3 meeting rooms, event space, and community hall plan as outlined in this report be approved, that the stage 3 playground and outdoor fitness equipment plan as outlined in this report be approved, and that the staff be authorized to make revisions to the plans in accordance with provincial orders, directives from public health officials, and various guidelines as required, and that the new certified parks attendant position that was approved in the 2020 budget be hired in September to assist with fall park maintenance. Do I have a mover for that list of recommendations? Councillor Lawton and Councillor Kiesebrink. All those in favor? Opposed? You opposed? You opposed, Councillor McDougall? In favor. And Councillor Guido and Councillor Brown, in favor or opposed?
Councillor Guido's in favor.
Councillor Brown? Is he on, Mr. Clerk?
Yeah, I'm having trouble unmuting my microphone. Sorry, I am in favor.
Thank you very much. That is carried.
Good.
So, thank you very much, Ms. Cornish, for your presentation and your report. I bet you're glad that that's over with for now, and now you can work on if we have to close down again. So,
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Good work. And we'll move now to item number 3.2, and I'll call on Kevin Arsenal, our capital projects technologist, to talk about this culvert replacement and relining on page 59 of your report or your agenda. Kevin?
Through the mayor to the council, this project has been on our books since 2015 and has seen a couple of changes, notably in budget. It was prepared without an estimate ahead of doing our capital budget, which has affected the outcome of this report, why it is over budget. We did remove 7 Mile Island culvert from this project, in part due to budget, in part due to the existing environment, a very large tree that would be affected by this work, as well as future development plans for 7 Mile Island, and whether that road classification would change and upgrades would need to happen to that road base, which would negate the work that we do. So that was removed from the project. I'm happy to answer any questions on this project or report.
Sorry, I was on mute. Councillor Guido, you're needing to declare
Yes.
an interest. Can you give us the indication of what that's about?
Absolutely. Nick Carchidi is family relations with my husband's side, so I will not be voting on this. I apologize. I meant to do that prior.
Okay, thank you.
Through the mayor to the councillor, in regards to Councillor Ross's question, whether we would see this back on the capital budget for a future project. The 7 Mile Island culvert may come back on, but that would be after assessing the development, looking at traffic management plans, and any impact that would be based on the future development. through the mayor. Yeah, through the mayor to the councillor, we can certainly let the MSIFN know that this project has been postponed, awaiting any future development on their lands.
Further questions? Seeing none, we have the recommendations are there that this report be received and that the contract for the culvert replacement and relining be awarded to Nick Carchidi Excavating Limited in the amount of $376,990.20, including taxes, and that additional funding of $101,700.06 be allocated to capital account 1919 culvert relining and replacement for the OCIF grant. Do I have a mover, please? Councillor Ross. Seconder, Councillor Kiesebrink. All those in favor? That's carried here. Councillor Brown.
I am in favor.
Thank you very much. That is carried. We will now, that is the end of the public session for this council meeting, and I will now entertain a motion to move into closed session. Councillor Kiesebrink, Councillor McDougall, all those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you very much. Councillor Brown and Councillor Guido in favor?
In favor.
In favor.
Yes, in favor.
Thank you very much. We are now in closed session.